Good evening and welcome to our February 3rd, 2026 calendar for the Board of Trustees here in the Village of Monroe. If we could all stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening and welcome to our Board of Trustees meeting. I'd like to take a roll call from the beginning of the evening. Trustee Berenger?
Berenger's present.
Trustee Ferraro?
Ferraro present.
Trustee Carl?
Carl present.
Trustee O'Connor?
O'Connor present.
Mayor Dwight here, thank you so much. Okay, first order of business is approval of meeting minutes of January 20th, 2026. I need a motion to accept them as submitted by the clerk.
Carl will make the motion.
Second,
O'Connor
Berenger.
will second.
discussion. Call the question.
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, aye. Carl, aye.
O'Connor, aye.
All right, so carried, thank you. Next order of business is resignation of Edleen Perez, part-time Assistant Building Inspector 3. Trustee O'Connor?
Be it resolved, the Board of Trustees accepts the resignation of Adeline Perez, part-time Assistant Building Inspector 3, effective February 2nd, 2026. The Board wishes her well in her future endeavors. I'd like to put this into the form of a motion.
Second, please.
Berenger will second.
Call the question.
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, aye. Carl, aye.
O'Connor, aye.
Dwyer, aye, so carried, thank you. Next order of business, okay, this is continuation for the authorization to sign the 2026 Ace Tent Amusement Corp. Kim, have we gotten any clarification?
Yeah, on the bottom, see how Rosanna said?
I also have it printed out here.
You want mine?
Okay,
So on this, she wrote it on the minutes and I
Okay.
have it here. These are what she's promised to bring.
okay, now is this like the zipper was one of the ones?
These are the ones, yes,
Yep.
exactly.
Okay.
Those are for the older.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have the whole field for her this year, right?
Yeah, she'll need the whole place.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, great, I see it, thank you. Okay, everybody good?
And that
Yes.
should be, you know, that the back area should be a little bit stiffer this year, I'm thinking, because of
A
the
lot of gravel.
there's a lot of item 4 and stuff in there,
Yeah.
and filter fabric, so,
Yeah.
we should be in pretty good shape on the back side.
Yeah,
Mhm.
just
So-
before we vote, I just want to say that
Yes,
this is what she's promised, this is what she has to bring to get the higher price ticket.
yes.
Yeah.
If she doesn't bring these, then she has to go revert back to last year's prices. That's really what should happen. 'Cause
Has she been told that, or,
well, I said that, I don't know if anybody passed it on to her.
but has anybody talked to her about that?
No, decreasing.
Well, it says
of
that last
Well,
year,
I'm sorry, yeah, yeah.
well, this does say, last year she didn't have the whole field and then she will bring, so someone spoke to her since the last meeting, right? That's what it
I've
seems.
done all email. You
Yes,
guys
but I
have
mean,
all-
so she's
Yeah.
promising according to this, so
But, so,
I
in
agree
the,
with you, and.
but you did have discussions regarding the 35
The
particular.
only discussion I had was when she had come with the contract. She did say that that was the going rate and $35 is what she was going to be charging.
Okay, to be honest with you, I still want to be absolutely sure, to make sure that Trustee Ferraro is what he's asking for is happening. So I'm going to say to put this to the second one. I don't think it hurts us.
No.
So just remind me that I need to get in touch with Roseanne. I need to have that really frank conversation that,
But it needs to be memorialized in the contract.
yeah, yeah,
That's,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
And
Yes.
if for any reason, then the price needs to be renegotiated.
Okay,
I think that's,
okay,
but that needs to be,
Good. All
that
right,
needs to be
so-
put into the contract, so.
fair enough. So we'll table that. And then the authorization to advertise, invitation to bid Orange Turnpike. Resolve the Board of Trustees authorize a legal notice to be placed in the Times Herald Record advertising the Orange Turnpike, Pine Tree, and Stage Road intersection realignment project provided by Barton Giudice, DPC, Albany, New York, with the bid opening scheduled for Thursday, February 26th at 11 a.m. at Village Hall, Stage Road, Monroe, New York. I need a motion to authorize the clerk to advertise an invitation to bid on the traffic light.
Ferraro make the motion.
Second,
Carl, second for discussion.
please.
Is this is being bonded out?
This is currently not being bonded out. Currently, we're still trying to find grant money to do the job. We do have some reserve that we can use but if it has to go bond, it'll go bond. I hope it doesn't. It's one of the biggest reasons. The first time around, we had $986,000, I think was the bid, which was absolutely insane. I wasn't gonna even consider that. It was only one bidder. So I expect this time around, I do have a question though.
Yes.
The one gentleman, the one engineer, Peter, he mentioned something about, did you put this or?
He did it for me. He does it.
But that's what he did last time, and we didn't get the response.
Well, we do both. The paper.
You know, I'm thinking what we need to do, if you could make a memo,
Yeah.
is to get in touch with them again and say, look, where else can we place this?
Okay.
Do we use a Dodge report by any chance?
Well, I don't know, they didn't. I've used the Dodge Report myself years ago. You know, there are other platforms, and I just
Okay.
want to try to get that.
Yep.
Because having it in what he had last year, I don't know why I would expect different results.
Yeah, you should use a Dodge report, that's gonna get you a lot of
So
interest.
let's put that in there
I
too,
did.
okay?
Yep.
All right, fair enough. Everything else fine? Good? Okay. All right, so we had a first and second. Let's call the question.
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, I.
O'Connor, aye.
By right, so carried, thank you. Second order of business. Authorization to advertise the Orange Turnpike, Pine Tree Road, Stage Road traffic signal. Resolve the Board of Trustees authorize a legal notice to be placed in the Times Herald Record advertising the Orange Turnpike, Pine Tree Road, and Stage Road traffic signal installation project provided by Barton and Logis, Albany, New York, with the bid opening scheduled for Thursday, February 2026 at 11:30 a.m. in the Village Hall, 7 Stage Road, Monroe, New York. Just to be clear, the public already understands, there are two separate bids for this project. One is all the site improvement, road realignment, curbing, and asphalt, and drainage as one part of the bid. And the second one is strictly just the traffic light and the installation of the pole and the electrical associated with it. So,
Now, the flashing light that's there now, that belongs to us, correct?
Yes.
That's part of, when we took Orange Turnpike over
Yeah.
from the county. We have any use for that somewhere else in this village?
I don't know.
Something to think about.
Yeah. We'll put it in inventory and keep the cabling, keep the pole, because there's a pole there too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Steel
You know,
stanchion.
Sure,
Yeah,
So-
and control blocks, all
Yeah,
of that.
yeah. So we'll have all that. Okay, so I need a first, second. I don't think we did a first.
We did, right?
Second?
Didn't we?
No, I don't think
No,
we
we
did.
didn't.
Okay, sorry. I'll make the motion.
No. Debbie will make the motion.
I'll second.
Second, call the question.
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, I.
O'Connor, aye.
All right, so carried, thank you. Okay. New business. We have someone here this evening I want to introduce to the board and to the public. Luis, who is the owner of Somni Restaurant. Luis, if you come up to the podium, please. Luis, just give the clerk your last name.
Luis Naula.
And Luis owns the Somni Restaurant, and he had reached out to me last summer to try to bring in some outdoor space opportunities. So I went ahead and invited the fire department and the police department to come out and do an assessment. They met with you,
Yes.
and they all gave it the thumbs up, as I understand. But I want the board to hear what your plans are for that alleyway, and when do you see it beginning and when do you see it ending?
Basically, I'm planning to do like a nice outdoor cafe for the customer, which is especially in late spring, summer, and I would say middle of fall. People looking to be sitting outside and enjoy the meal. So that's pretty much I was looking to see if I can get a little space next to the building, if it's possible to have as a seasonal. I don't know how the weather's gonna be, but I think like middle of April. I'm guessing late March. All depends how the weather is. Like when it's in 50s, people like to be outside. If I have a nice heat lamps, they like to be sitting outside. So the goal will be, early April till probably middle of October. Same thing, when the weather is still in its 50s
Right.
people is feeling comfortable to be sitting outside, but after below 50, nobody wants to be outside.
No.
So basically, that's pretty much I'm requesting. I'm looking to see if there's any possibility to have that space, and bringing more people out there and to the village,
Sure.
basically.
Understood.
I love the idea of outside dining, outdoor dining. I think it's just brings like a whole new experience. My only question is, you're talking about like on the side, so do cars go through there now? No.
Cars go through there now. but
Right, so we would,
it would be
okay,
stopped.
yeah, that's my only thing. I think it would be great to bring everybody outside.
Yeah.
So as long as we do whatever we need to do for the, that there's no through traffic, I think it would be a great
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
And you go first.
Well, does the village own the entire,
Yes.
so it's ours, it's not the other building has no part of this?
He owns 3 or 5 feet.
I think you told me like 3 feet, something like
Yeah,
that.
off his building.
Off his building, and then we own
And
the
then
rest of it,
up
all the way up to
to
the
the
wall.
wall, yeah.
All right, and
And all the way out in a straight line out.
Mhm.
And the town owns a piece, which I'm trying to work with the town supervisor now to acquire, because there's a much bigger plan, which is to get that parking lot all straightened out and make it very user-friendly, which I think would go a long
Yeah.
way in
Mhm.
inviting people in.
Yeah, got a couple of structures there that need to be.
Hopefully, because it looks a little messy back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's cars being parked for the whole month and nobody's been moving. And it's not only that, it's not a nice clean cars, it's full of garbage.
Yeah, no, we're with you.
People's passing by.
100% agreed.
And
Mhm.
Luis, would it be every single day that you were open? You try to do that?
I'll try to do probably Wednesday, on especially the weekends when people really want to be outside with a nice brunch. Especially when the summer start coming up, people doesn't want to be sitting inside. And most of my clientele start requesting, "What happened with your patio? Are you getting patio?" And people really want to be enjoying outside, nice meal, especially dinners too. Early dinners, they want to be outside. They don't want to be inside.
Yeah, I would think since any kind of polycade or any kind of, should be our responsibility because it's on the public road, I believe that we should put the polycades in front and behind. Now, you said, what would you do on the weekends?
I would say probably mostly weekends. All depends because when I was in a two-way, even though a lot of people didn't like the road, but since I was offering something
Yeah.
special, people was doing that effort to go over there, and especially summertime, late spring, people want to be outside. Nobody want to be sitting inside. Just when it rains or hard wind is when they were sitting inside, but most of the time they would be sitting outside. So I'm thinking over here, having a lot of shoppings in the area,
Right,
a lot of hair salons. I'm guessing people, it will be joined probably every day.
okay,
They don't want to be sitting inside in the summertime.
sure.
It'd be a nice draw for downtown.
It will look
Yeah.
nice. So I think it will bring more people and hopefully, make it busier. It looks nice, especially the street. Lake Street is beautiful anyway.
Yeah.
John?
Now, that is technically a public road there, correct?
They call it,
Called Green Street?
yeah, Green Alley,
Green
they call
Alley
it,
Street.
yeah.
Because if we're gonna do any kind of closing for any time, I don't know if that should be publicly noticed. You're closing the street
Well,
down.
if you were to abandon
Yeah.
the street, I mean, is it a street?
It's in an alleyway between the old Smith and Striebel and John DeAngelis, where Somni is now. That's why I
And,
told you that with the duck breast, that's the guy right
About
there.
10 feet wide.
okay,
But it's basically,
Yeah.
it is technically a village street, but it's not really a village street.
yeah.
Or shoot in behind there to go into the commuter parking lot.
If you were going to abandon it and sell it, that would be one thing. That has a
Well, to bring the
whole,
public in,
that has a whole process you have to go through.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd ever.
No,
No.
No, so if you, I mean, I can look into it a little further, but I think if you think this is a good idea and you wanna do it,
yeah.
probably a resolution is sufficient, especially if it's only part of the year.
Right. And there's still an access through another way, so it's not, that area in the back isn't completely locked off. They can come through the commuter parking lot.
plus there's a water main there, there's a sewer main, that all run through there as well, so.
And this would there be any charge to Mr. Simon?
No.
No.
I wouldn't recommend the charge, no.
I don't think it's necessary. Not if it brings
I
business.
would, I would assume we wanna have some sort of insurance, naming the village.
Yeah, I think that would probably be
Yeah.
easy to
I do have the insurance. As soon as I get that approved to do it outside, or I extend my insurance for outside,
Yeah.
because I want to protect my customers too. So
Yeah, but you have to protect the village as well.
same thing, the same thing I did in the front of the restaurant when I put my few tables. Even though very rare people sit down, but I gotta put insurance on it, even
Sure.
though, just to be secure. You never know.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
You never know.
Yeah.
Marty, anything?
You'd be welcome.
We got a big July 3rd celebration this year,
Mhm.
with the fireworks, and we're doing a drone show as well, so.
Count on me. I'm more than happy to be part of the community.
Good.
Just give me a heads up. I'll be there. Anything I need to do.
Okay, so having said that and making some assumptions about, predicated on getting the insurance and getting a couple of the i's dotted and t's crossed, I ask for draft a resolution allowing this.
Yeah, I think the way you would want to do that is a resolution in favor of the project as proposed, subject to approval by the village attorney of the insurance. I think you're gonna need some kind of agreement. In other
Okay.
words, okay, so if the alley is this wide, you own part of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then the village owns part of it,
Yes?
and then the town owns part of it?
No.
No.
So it's just an agreement between, okay, so,
From the front of his building to the back of his building.
and how much of that how many
The
feet
sketch should
in?
be included
Yeah.
in
How many feet
Yes.
in do
the
you
sketch
own?
that are included with
To the building is 3 feet.
So 3 feet, and then the other 7 feet is owned by the
Villages.
village?
Village.
That's more, that's what, about
It's,
12 feet
yeah,
wide?
it's at least 15. It's,
15 feet wide, I'd get fire truck in there, so.
yeah.
Then I think probably I would think you would want to have a license of some sort,
Okay.
so that he can use it. Why don't you direct me to draft a license agreement,
Okay.
and we'll work out all the details. And, because we do licensing for other village properties.
Yep.
Now, also with that, because you have an outdoor liquor license with your establishment,
Yes, I do.
so,
Because when I had those, 4 tables outside front of the building,
Mhm.
I gotta adjust my liquor license that is few tables on the front of the building. So now, if I got this, I gotta see how many tables that I'm gonna be adding. Then I gotta send a letter to the liquor authority saying my volume I'm having patio now.
It would be subject to, him
Some
getting
license.
what he needs from the New York State Liquor Authority, yeah.
yeah.
So I'll draft something up, maybe someone could send me a survey or something, or
Yeah, I
something.
have it. I'll do
Okay.
it.
All right, yeah. Mhm. So,
Get that tomorrow. Kim, just put that on my list, right?
Mm-hmm.
so just the resolution is, The board-
Authorizing you.
yeah, the board is in favor of this and authorizes the village attorney to draft an agreement. Maybe it isn't even a license agreement, I wanna think about that, but
Yeah.
at the least, maybe a license agreement so that Mr. Somni can use the village property for this purpose.
Sounds good.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bring some life
Yes.
Yep.
outside the building.
So
Thanks
hang
so
on one
much.
second, Louis. So, I need a motion,
Berenger make the motion.
second.
Carl will second.
Full vote.
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, I.
O'Connor, aye.
Dwyer, aye, so carried.
Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Have a
Bob.
wonderful evening, guys. Thank you.
Talk soon. Stay warm.
Thank you. It would have to be something as long as he's there. If he ever sells,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sunsets.
it would be, yeah,
sunset.
yeah.
it would sunset and, you know, maybe
Mhm.
it's for a certain duration, I don't know, but
You'll figure it out.
You'll figure it
you
out.
have to do that.
Okay. All right, next order of business is the authorization for payment number 4, the Van Kuren Booster Pump. Trustee Carl?
Yeah, resolve the Board of Trustees accepts the recommendation of village engineer David Higgins, P.E., and approves payment number 4 submitted by TAM Enterprise Incorporated for the Van Kuren Booster Pump Station Project, general construction, in the amount of $33,149.29 to be allocated from budget line F 8340.4500, distribution contractual. All documents have been reviewed and found complete. Mayor Dwyer is hereby authorized to sign the voucher. I will put that in the form of a motion.
Second, please.
O'Connor will second.
Further discussion? Call the question.
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, I.
O'Connor, aye.
Dwyer, ayes so carried. Thank you.
Coming down the home stretch here with that.
Yeah. Did they do the turnover of the electric, the pumps? did,
Yes,
right?
they
Yeah,
did
yeah,
last,
yeah.
the other day.
I know they
Got
shut
switched
down,
over.
right? Yeah. Great. Okay, next order of business is the event application for 2026 Summer Concert Series. Trustee Ferraro.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees approves the event application submitted by Mayor Dwyer for the 2026 Summer Concert Series to be held at the north side of Lake Street between the Mill Ponds on the following dates: June 13th and 27th, July 3, 11, 18, and 25, August 8, 15, and 22. Concerts begin at 7 p.m. and end at approximately 9 p.m., and in the case of rain, will be held the following day, Sunday, beginning at 7 p.m. The rain date for the Independence Day celebration concert on July 3rd is July 10th. Emergency services, Marshall and Sterling will be copied, and Marshall and Sterling will be copied on the approval letter. Sign off on the event application has been made by the DPW, Building Department, and Police Department. The Police Department will provide police officers to shut down Lake Street and provide event security on each concert date. And I'll put that in the form of a question. Have a motion.
Carl is second.
Discussion? Call the question.
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, I.
O'Connor, aye.
Dwyer, ayes so carried. The next order of business, the event application for Independence Day 2026. Trustee Carl?
Yeah, resolve the Board of Trustees approves the event application submitted by Mayor Dwyer to host the village's annual Independence Day celebration on Friday, July 3rd, 2026, from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. with a rain date scheduled for Friday, July 10th, 2026. Emergency services, along with Marshall and Sterling, the village's insurance carrier, will be notified. Sign off on the event application has been made by the DPW, Building Department, and Police Department. The Police Department will provide police officers to shut down roadways, assist with traffic control points, and crowd control. I will put that in the form of a motion.
Second, please.
Ferraro, second.
Further discussion? Call the question.
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, I.
O'Connor, aye.
Dwyer, ayes so carried. Thank you. Next order of business, Webster Bank signature authorization. Trustee O'Connor?
Okay. Now be it resolved, the Board of Trustees authorizes the change of signatories and the maintenance of online banking access for the village's Webster Bank accounts, removing Anthony Fillets, village treasurer, effective February 2nd, 2026. I'll have to put this in the form of a motion.
Second, please.
Berenger will second.
Discussion? Call the question.
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, I.
O'Connor, aye.
Dwyer, ayes so carried. Thank you very much. Next order of business is a discussion I'd like to have with the board in public regarding the proposed ice facility in Chester, New York. We had received a notification resolution from the Town of Chester Supervisor, Brandon Holdridge, and he was looking to get other municipalities to sign on to that resolution. So, as you know, I had taken it, printed it out, and sent it all to you folks for review and discussion. So I wanted to have that conversation tonight. So I think we can kind of go in order, if anybody wants to go first. Otherwise, we'll start with Deb, if you have any initial thoughts on the ice facility itself. That's what this is about, just the
Right.
ice facility.
Right, I'm not in favor of having it so close to us. I worry about a lot of issues, police, traffic, water, you know, just things that have been going on around the world. I could probably chime in more after everybody else talks, but
What would be the police issue?
I didn't know if maybe, you know, I know there's been rallies and things.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm thinking if it comes here, there's going to be more, I'm thinking a lot more people coming.
Right.
And I would think that, I don't know, just, I think we would need to make sure that if anything were to get out of hand, you'd need police there also.
Sure.
That's just a thought.
Andy?
Yeah, again, ICE, we're totally neutral on ICE, but the facility, if anybody, everybody here obviously remembers Camp LaGuardia, and that was there, and some of the people that sometimes were let out to roam around, wasn't the best thing, and how do we know that if somebody suddenly is told, oh, you know what, you don't have to be here anymore, they're just let out to somehow to try and get back to wherever they came from and roaming our streets, so that's kind of uncomfortable. So I would support not having that there for what it's worth.
Trustee Carl?
Yeah, I mean, I've opined already, but, you know, New York State is a home rule state. Every municipal jurisdiction has their zoning and whatnot. A lot of what was in that letter from the town of Chester really had no bearing on the village of Monroe. That being said, believe me, that's not the place for any type of a detention facility. But my main concern, and it's been brought before this board more than once by me and the mayor, is the sewerage coming out of the village of Chester, the town of Chester, which is part of the Moodna, and the village of South Blooming Grove, dumping into the drop manhole in Airplane Park and creating hydrogen sulfide. Nobody came to our aid when we asked for help. I appreciate the town of Chester reaching out, and I do understand the situation, but we need help down here too with the sewer odors and the and whatnot throughout Monroe, and it's getting worse by the day. And by them making that a detention center up there, it's only going to add more waste and more problems for us down here. And that's my driving point in this whole thing. But most of what was in that letter really did not pertain to us.
Trustee O'Connor?
Yeah, same thing with John, the concern with the impact of the sewage in the water. I do support ICE in their action against criminals that were let into this country. But with that being said, it seems like it's a lot of openness right now, and I wouldn't support it.
Sure. So just to echo on what everybody just said, from my perspective, that's a commercial industrial park. There's commerce happening there. There's business being conducted across probably 50 types of businesses, from retail, supply, up through heavy truck and so forth. And an ICE detention center in the town of Chester, albeit in the village of Chester, doesn't belong there for a lot of good reasons, specifically the nature of the business as opposed to what currently is there is a problem and is problematic. I think the optics of that there are problematic. And as John had pointed out, I am very concerned about what that infrastructure looks like. You know, irrespective of the impact to Chester's tax base, which currently right now is on the tax rolls, I don't know what that means should this federal facility be getting involved. According to what the supervisor Holdridge has spoken about, it's a major financial impact for them. And it does include county monies, which, as the overarching use for the county, also has an impact to us. We may not be involved in the town of Chester's tax base, but certainly on the county side we are. And there are other things that do have ancillary or collateral issues for us. So I think that's important. And I've said this many, many times, you know, and here in the Village of Monroe, in our own community, we have, for instance, we have a Hispanic outreach that I've been part of since 2014. And I know these families, I know these folks, and we've had some incredible relationships develop over the years. And I think this just puts another set of eyes that I don't want coming into this community to do the same thing. And while I support the criminal aspects of what ICE does, as Trustee O'Connor points out, nobody supports having criminals in their community. I don't want to create this model here in Orange County that this is the order of the day. This is what we're going to do. We're going to round them up and then we're going to stick them in that detention center. I don't want any part of it. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think we need to have it here. Notwithstanding that I do support the enforcement ability to bring bad people of any ilk, background, whatever, it doesn't matter. Legal, illegal, documented, here in this community. So I think it's important that we keep that in mind, but I am not in favor of any ICE facility in Chester. So for my take, while there were many points that the supervisor raised here, Council, I think if we're going to make a resolution, if we all come to term on it, about not being in favor of having it, that maybe we draft our more specific concerns. And, you know, there was some language in here that I did have some concern about that I don't necessarily support. Not speaking for the board. And so I do think we need to maybe craft something that supports his efforts and supports a fellow municipality, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of things tonight that could be included in a resolution. We could take the Chester resolution as a model, but then add your points. So if you get to me just bullet points, why it's a bad idea, why you're not in favor of it. If you also want some language about, you know, certainly as the mayor said, you know, no one wants criminals of any kind in their municipalities, but, you know, however you want to word it, you know, we have law enforcement of our own, and ICE is, you know, have their own, but we don't want this here.
Right.
What I'm confused about is there's a letter that has been drafted that you are supposed to sign. Is that,
No, that
you're not doing that?
no, no.
Okay,
So,
so, okay.
yeah, no, so
Yeah, I was
that was
fighting
just-
against that.
that was a copy, I believe, of the Chester,
Okay.
and,
It was.
but no, I think the board had to weigh in on it, and I just asked the clerks not to do it that. I did send an email to Supervisor Holdridge advising him that we were taking it up tonight, and that I would follow up tomorrow with him to give him a status report of where we're at. He's obviously told me he's overwhelmed with the amount of municipalities and people inquiring and asking questions and doing things. So he's quite busy. I'm not going to waste his time. But for our purposes, I think we can do what we need to do and send what we can in support.
Yeah, so I would suggest marking up, everybody just mark up what we have in front of us, the letter. There might be points in the letter that, you know, are important. For example, he talks about county revenue, which is something the mayor has mentioned. Mark up the letter, mark up the resolution, send it to me, and I will draft a resolution. I will circulate it to this board. And if it reflects what the board wants to see, then authorize the mayor to sign it upon drafting by the village attorney and circulation to the village board.
And that
That
can
way
be
we
picked up.
don't, you can do it in a matter of days rather than waiting for another meeting.
Okay, so right now, we're going to,
Well, I
Make
gave
'em-
comments in an email.
Make
to
Yeah,
everybody,
yeah.
so, you know, my stuff.
So the motion would be to direct the village attorney to take the comments from the board that will be circulated to her and draft a resolution opposing the ICE facility for reasons that are specific to the village of Monroe. And the mayor can sign that upon circulation to the board and the board agreeing with it. Okay?
Okay,
So that would be the motion.
okay, so following up, Kim, on what the council just said, I'd like to create a motion.
Ferraro will make the motion.
Second,
Carl was second.
okay, further discussion?
Yeah,
Okay.
one other thing,
Yeah.
which I'm just looking at it now, but something that we can incorporate into that. One of the senses, finally, law enforcement elements will realistically be needed to be pulled from nearby municipalities to handle inevitable protesting, rallying, civil strife, which is a good point, because, you know,
That's right.
That's
we're right
what I
down the
wanna
street here, so
Yeah.
that's another thing, because that's gonna burden our police department. So, I'm just looking at that now, that's something else you can probably,
Is that in the resolution or the letter?
That's in the Chester.
that's in the Chester letter,
Okay,
Which is,
I have that.
yeah.
yeah. That's the end of number 7. That goes on about the county impact
Oh, yes,
and all the rest of them. Right down the end there, you'll see it.
I got it, yep.
I think that's an important piece for us too.
Okay.
Okay, so we had a first, we had a second, call the question?
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, I.
O'Connor, aye.
Dwyer, aye, so carried. Thank you on that. Just going through my notes here before I move on. I think we had, I had some things to say real quick, but I don't think we had anything else on the public side now, right? Okay, so I just want to make a few things, a couple of points. So we had this incredible snowstorm, right, back on January 25th. And first off, I want to just thank our DPW and emergency services for all the work that they did during and after that, first preparing and then during and after that storm. Our DPW has spent the better part of a week cleaning up this incredible storm. And the comments, just amazing. People are just so kind, and somebody said it's amazing. They said they had been, I guess they either work in another municipality and they come back home, and they say it's amazing the way we see this place. Really clean, neat. So I just want to put a shout out to our DPW and all our emergency service groups for all the work and taking care of people, because obviously the EMTs are out there in these bad times, the fire department's out there, and they continue to get the work done while this storm was raging on. So representing us, I think I want to let everybody know that they did an incredible job. So that's going to continue to clean up. If you have a hydrant out in front of your house, if you would please clear the snow around it. It's very, very important. There is a flag that's mounted to it, so our firefighters can find it very quickly should they need to, without having to dig out. And as it gets colder and the snow is still there, it starts to freeze, it becomes hard, it becomes difficult to remove. So please take the time and clean out the snow if you have a hydrant. Another piece is, keep in mind, I keep bringing this up, Chapter 170 of the Village Code, Streets and Sidewalks. Snow and ice must be removed within 24 hours after the end of a snowfall. Sidewalks in front of commercial establishments and commercial parking lots must be kept free of snow and ice at all times between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. If you have a sidewalk in front of your home, it needs to be kept clean so that people can get from point A to point B without walking into the road, and they can walk safely across the sidewalk. So please take care of these sidewalks in front of your homes and businesses. That's, I think, all I have. Trustee Berenger?
Yeah, I was going to echo what you said. It seems like every storm we have is on the weekend, which is a lot more time of our DPW away from their families, and I agree about the first responders. I was amazed at the path around the ponds, like
Yeah.
how how hard our guys were cleaning that. And then the one day when I came through, I saw this road was closed, but it was because all of Smithfield Court, I had called you, I was like, what's going on? Yeah. And all of Smithfield Court was being cleaned really nicely, and I agree that a lot of towns do not look like our town.
Yep.
And I do love the way the community came together. This was my first storm that I actually paid a couple of high school kids, and they made my life wonderful.
Right.
So it was a crazy storm, but I'm glad everybody was pretty good. And also be careful about the pipes, because mine actually froze, which never happened in my life. Nothing burst, but our showers wouldn't turn on, and we
Wow.
turned up the heat, and we put space heater next to where the pipes are, I guess. And I never in 23 years in that house did I have to worry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, brutal. I think we passed a record, I think, for cold days in a row, 16 or something like that, temperature-wise.
Sure
So-
felt like
Where do you
it.
get your electric and gas bill?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody should have received the O&R warning that it could be higher this month.
Yeah.
I have nothing.
Trustee Carl?
Speaking of the DPW and the water department, I got text last night around 12:45 a.m. They had water main breakdown on Archer Drive, and they worked through the night on that, but that was repaired. I spoke to Will about 6:30 this morning. They were just getting everything buttoned up, so kudos to them. Have we got any status on 13 Lakes Road? I know we had a public hearing on that structure, that abandoned structure. Have we,
That's a great question.
Yeah, let me just see if I have it.
I know our code enforcement was here, and we had the public hearing, and then I haven't heard anything.
Can you make a note on that, 13 Lakes, and we'll follow up with trustee Carl?
And then another blight eyesore, whatever you want to call it, is the 99 Spring Street. I know is that in the courts, or where
Yeah,
are we with
That's in the
that?
courts, and we're looking to do a condemnation on that as well, on specifically the house in the back and the structure to the back of the brick building.
Is that house in the back, is that vacant?
Oh, totally vacant. That has been for years.
Okay.
The last occupant was a person who actually just, not too long, got himself arrested. He was living in there, no heat, no facilities, no nothing.
He passed away in there, didn't he?
No, that was the guy in the car. Yeah, no, this was the house. They locked him up.
All right, and then the only other thing, I just wanted to talk about personnel in executive session.
Sure.
That's it.
Okay, trustee O'Connor?
Same thing as other people are saying, but at work and at the house, whenever people visit, which is a lot of work,
Yeah.
the comparison between Monroe and where they're coming from, tremendous.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just saying how great we're looking and everything. So congrats to our guys.
Appreciate that. Trustee?
I forgot, just before the snowstorm hit, and it was put on hold, I did pick up two of the prettiest signs that says, "Welcome here to Monroe."
Yes.
It mirrors what was done for our anniversary. And they are here, they're ready to be installed, and the snow got in the way. But as soon as we can clear the space, we're going to install these great signs. We've shown some pictures of them. I think they're on the website. If not, maybe I can get at least the sign up on the website so you can see it. And as soon as the snow's cleared enough away, we'll mount them.
Great.
What are they, they're going on
Mayor's
the mayor's and then
the
up on the other side of the
Yeah.
airplane park?
Yeah,
Good.
very nice. Really beautiful. Great job. Thanks, Andy. Okay, anyone from the public wish to speak? So you're like the mailman, you know that, Carol, right?
Yeah, thank you. Carol Soteropoulos, 24 Strauss Lane. Good evening. I've come to you today, again, on behalf of the nonpartisan Monroe-based group Hands Off Hudson Valley, to follow up on the two resolutions that we presented to you on the 16th of December. In the meantime, we hope you've noticed also that there's been a very positive reception of the solidarity signs, speaking of Welcome to Monroe signs, the solidarity signs that we've distributed to many of the shops and businesses in town, and they've been putting them in their windows just to support, like, welcoming to immigrants. That's the basic message. And we are continuing to pound the pavements with these and sharing these with residents of neighboring towns who share our concerns and want to use them, in Chester and Warwick, other towns around. With all that, we have seen on our TV screens and read in every media outlet about the ongoing events in Minneapolis, Portland, both Oregon and Maine, Charlotte, North Carolina, et cetera, about the current overreach of ICE. I'm sure you feel the urgency to get something done to protect the rights of all of us. Imagine Minneapolis. This has all been the cities I've mentioned just since I was here on December 16th. So think, these cities have undergone ICE lawless overreach and murders of U.S. citizens since that December 16th meeting. I remember mentioning here the $75 billion in the national budget dedicated to supplementing ICE's base budget of $10 billion. Well, just one piece of this is happening now in the reported plan to invest $100 million in what ICE calls, quote unquote, wartime recruitment of 10,000 new agents, in addition to the 20,000 already employed. You've just demonstrated full awareness of the planned detention center for Chester, just one of many in the ICE plans nationwide. I have the list here for anyone interested. Community governing boards across our region are adopting resolutions opposing it. You've just discussed that here. That's great. And the Chestertown Board has passed such a resolution just last week. We anticipate the Orange County Legislature to pass one this Thursday, and the Monroe Town Board is developing its own document, its own resolution in opposition, just as you're discussing here. So it's excellent that you are willing to join that effort regarding the detention center. But today I'm here, as I said, to follow up on the resolutions regarding the MELT Act and the New York for All Act. Along with the resolution opposing the detention center, the Chester Town Board passed the resolution in support of the MELT Act just last Monday, and they have taken the resolution in support of the New York for All Act under consideration. Both resolutions have been well received by our Monroe Town Board and will hopefully be an agenda item on their January 23rd meeting date. Further, residents in other neighboring towns are taking these up to their municipal boards. We do not have time to lose. We have all borne witness to what overreach means. I understand everything that you have said about the need for ICE to be trying to capture and deport whatever true violent criminals. We're talking about something different. I hope you realize that. We've all borne witness to the murders of citizens who could be the sisters, brothers, sons, daughters, mothers, fathers of any of us. Not only our immigrant neighbors, but we all will benefit from the added protections provided by these bills before our legislature. So I began this whole discussion about these resolutions via email with Mayor Dwyer and Chief Guzman in November. The draft resolutions were in packets of the Board of Trustees prior to the December 16th board meeting when they were addressed during public comment. Weeks have passed during which events have grown exponentially worse. Please, please, it is time to move on these resolutions so that our legislators hear unified voices and pass these pieces of legislation. So we hope you see that your adoption of these resolutions, as we do, as a win-win for everyone. And I'm wondering if we can have a date, if these could be on your next meeting agenda. We can't just, I know it's unintentional that I don't get responses to emails that I send. Our good mayor is very, very busy, and it's hard, to answer, but I'm trying to stay in communication. And I know it's not intentional, but it feels as though the can keeps getting kicked down the road, that old proverb. So I'm wondering if we can have some kind of concurrence on whether this should be an agenda item, or whether you've already discussed it, and I don't know. I need some kind of response, if it's possible.
Sure. So let me just share with you a couple of things. One of the key pieces of this, we have not had a chance to get into it, and the biggest reason why is when you're pulling information, so you're looking at federal, you're looking at state, you're looking at the county. Chester was the first that I've ever read here in the county, unless you know otherwise, that signed a resolution that is in the books, right? And looking at their language, it differs from the conversations I think we kind of heard tonight a bit, right? So we're trying to understand, what does it mean? And, you know, like the MELT Act isn't really a MELT Act governmentally, right? It's not. It's a proposed legislation that the state will not, for whatever reason, sit down and take up. I'm not 100% sure. It's way past my pay grade.
They're going to take it up this year.
Well, listen, I hope they do. I hope they do, because I think one of the things that you benefit from having state interaction is there's a melting pot of people from all socioeconomic backgrounds and all diversified communities trying to come to a consensus of what that should look like. So we look to that a lot, while still respecting our law enforcement. And you said it, and we all agree about it. If you've got somebody who is being removed from this community because there's an issue, and an issue being a lawful or unlawful issue, we want them out of here, right? And I don't know if I'd bet the farm on it, but I can tell you that in the 10 years or 12 years that I've been part of the Hispanic outreach, I'm not aware of a single case where somebody was taken from somebody for no cause here that I'm aware of. Because I think between myself and the police department, which is very, very cognizant and has the pulse of this Hispanic community, and we say Hispanic community, what are we talking about? We're talking about El Salvadorians, Guatemalans, Hondurans, Mexican, you know, Central America nations and whatnot. We have a lot of diversity here. And Carol, I can tell you that in all my communication, in all my meetings, you know, we associate ourselves with St. Anastasia, and we've gone there on behalf of the community and tried to find ways. I actually, for Christmas, we did some reading for the Pine Tree School. I think we all were asked, and we all went up. And I had a 5th grade class, and at the end, and I thought we had a great time, and we were all laughing, having a good time, and I gave them all little Village of Monroe pins, which I give anytime I see a child. And afterwards, this little boy came up to me, and he says, am my mommy and daddy going to get picked up?
Yeah, that's the
You know,
word.
and I was like, that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I don't want you thinking like that. Don't think like that. And call it, you know, my head in the sand. I don't know. But you and I have spoken privately about this. I think a lot of people recognize the good people that are here in this community that are not affected by this ICE work. I think the ICE work that they do to date is purposeful. I think it's necessary. What little I do know, and I know very little, but what I do know, it's been very purposeful, okay? I was asked one day, because part of the melting has got to do with the masking or the unmasking of these officers, and somebody came in, as you well know, and he handed me 6 photographs of ICE agents. Of the 6 pictures, 4 of them were unmasked, and were carrying lanyards, and had tags, and badges. So I didn't really understand the argument, and the last thing I want to do, and I want to subject this board to, is create that circling around the drain rhetoric. I really want to understand, and to that end, and it's by nature that I just keep looking at all the little pieces, and who's saying what, and who's actually adopted something. Supervisor Holdridge is the first board that I'm aware of. Am I right or am I wrong in Orange County that has signed on this resolution? which in and of itself is a supporting document, but they don't have any enforcement ability.
No. We're just asking for it to
Exactly.
be sent up, but
Exactly.
why would you not want to add some protections here?
Well, my
Because
concern, it's not necessarily that, because I can tell you that. We don't and we do. I can tell you that. I'm sure everybody would
That's-
say that here too as well.
No, but you see what's happened across this country in just
Agreed.
weeks.
Right,
Weeks.
right.
I don't mean to sound alarmist, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm, a historian of authoritarian regimes, okay?
Sure.
I don't want to get into my professional background, but I know a lot,
Yeah.
okay? And I know what I see, and I know what I read, and I'm telling you, this can be happening here.
Right.
And it would be very good to have just a little bit of added protection from our legislature to prevent
Now,
the worst kinds of things from happening.
You had said the county was taking this up on Thursday?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to keep in mind.
Well, they're taking up the detention center.
Oh,
Okay, not
okay.
these, sorry. I didn't
Yeah,
mean
yeah,
to-
I think they're already on the bus with that already. I think most are, frankly.
Mhm. Yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
that says, "Yeah, I
yeah.
can't
The
wait till they
detention
start."
center is the hot
Yeah,
issue.
I don't think so. I wish this never came to light. I wish that people would never have had this problem. I wish that our our
agree.
Congress goes to their favorite restaurant,
We
goes to their
agree.
favorite dry cleaner,
We
and goes
agree.
into the back in the kitchen and see who's working there. And let's ask, are those people employed lawfully or are they unlawful? In which case, that puts the owner or the purveyor of that establishment in question, right? And it puts these other people in the same place. Why don't you just dig in and find a way to get it done? Frankly, I don't understand. I've asked the question of some pretty prominent people. I mean, let's stop. We're the little tomatoes on the ground nobody wanted to pick up. There's some really big people out there that could put a lot of weight into this and have not, on both sides of the aisle.
But it's coming up now. It's coming
No,
up.
I understand.
It is. I mean, these bills were actually brought up in 2025, and New York for All, I think, even earlier. But
Sure.
but the impetus, to pass them is there now because we all see what is happening.
I just need to say something. You brought up the word protection and coming here someday. Well, something is here already that this board has been fighting ever since I've been on here. And that is the mistreatment of the very same people you're talking about by their employers. You drive by a house that you see 8, 10, 12 cars parked in, and they live in minor little cubicles that has only one exit. So if there's a fire, they're all dead. That's where you should be putting really, this is what we do every single day. That's why we've hired code enforcement officers and building inspectors, trying to save these people's lives. Young kids that are legally here, and we're trying to save their lives. That's what we do. So that is here. So as you drive around, take note of the driveways that have 8 to 10 and 12 cars in it. Knock on their door and see what kind of a reception you get. Ask who the landlord is and go speak to the landlord and see what you get from them. Because I can tell you what we get from them. We get a lot of grief and we get a lot of threats. We are one of the most hated boards in this community because what we're doing to protect the community and to protect those very same people. So that's where a lot of your energy should be focused, just like ours is.
I understand your frustration.
Have you
It's
had-
too-
have
and
you-
it's frustration, and you deserve to be commended for everything you're doing. I'm not
But we're
denying
hated
that.
for it.
That's
We are hated for it. People
Wrong.
threaten us. There are people walking around, this is your new mayor, we gotta get rid of that board, because we're hated for what we're doing to protect the very same people you're talking about.
I commend you, and I agree. It's a whole other issue. We're all stretched thin. Okay, so I'm trying to do this, take up this particular issue, and many others too, and we're all stretched thin. I get that. I'm
So,
still asking whether it could be an agenda item.
Right, I think the board needs to continue culling information. I've reached out to our senator's office looking for a conversation. I'd like to know what's going on, and I know he works very hard on these matters. So, Assemblyman Ekus as well. Like, what are they hearing? What's their place and position? This is the first time I've ever seen supporting resolutions from an Orange County municipality. I am curious, and reading through some of it, I could, as John had said, most of it wasn't applicable to us because they talked about a lot of things which are definitely impacting Chester.
Mm-hmm.
Not only the questions of the facility being placed there, but there are other pieces to it, because they also passed the melt. So, I think there could be something down the road, but I can't say tonight that, yep, come next month, we're gonna do something. I can't say that. I don't know if the board thinks otherwise, but I think there's a lot of work that still needs to be done to really understand, what does that imply? Does it take away the hope of a demographic who came here lawfully? Does it take away the hope of the people that were born here, to make them realize or think that by doing this, we've told the people who are here lawfully, who are here through birthright, and say to them, maybe you don't matter as much as what we're trying to achieve for those that don't have a voice. Maybe who doesn't have a voice is more important than you. And that perception is also out there. Trustee Ferraro said it, and it has been some of the conversations. And it's horrible, because I'm the one that gets those calls that says, you have a few minutes, and the water is coming through the fixture in the ceiling of my trailer, and I don't know what to do. And I was told if I keep making a problem, ice is coming. You know what I mean? Like, it reminded me when I was 10, and somebody would say, oh, the boogeyman's coming. Well, you feared the boogeyman, so you behaved, right? If you didn't eat what you didn't want to eat, you ate it because you knew you were going to starve for the next day, your parents would tell you. So there's plausible reasons why people do what they do. I won't speak for anybody in what they do to these folks, but it's got to be horrible to believe that today is today, tomorrow is not promised. So
Just saying
there's a lot of alignment here. I'm just saying that there are pieces that we really need to understand clearly by what actions we take or don't take, or what version of it do we take, and what does it imply to the folks.
Okay, well, I'll just come back to it that I was here December 16th.
Yes.
And there's been no movement at all.
Well,
So,
there has been movement.
I mean, maybe
So it
we've
hasn't been
spoken
between
to.
the board, because it's kind of premature. I mean, certainly, I could say, listen, I spoke to so-and-so, and I just heard this thing with Chester, we just got it yet the other day.
Right, and you're going to deal with it within days. I just heard that. Right.
Yes,
So,
on that facility, yes.
yes, because
So we
it's
do
urgent,
react.
it's
Yeah.
urgent, I get it. It's
Yeah.
urgent. But, having these protections, most of which are just strengthening, which is what is already in our Constitution, in the New York for All Act, okay? Because, the Constitution is being violated all over the place. So, the New York for All Act puts in, emphasis on protections that we all take for granted, but we need to keep seeing them and recognizing them and expecting our
I have a question,
police
maybe-
to abide.
Right. I have a question, and part of my research, and I do a lot of this, I take to heart what you've said on many occasions with me. Something I just learned the other day, and I wanted to ask, there's a database. So if, let's say, Tommy Quinn was picked up, he is in the system and registered, no matter who he is and what his status is. So whether he was lawfully picked up as a undocumented, or he was unlawfully picked up, as, whatever the argument is, he becomes part of the database. Do you believe that is in fact the truth? Meaning that if, let's say, there are people that were picked up, you just came into the house, knocked on the door, or knocked the door down, scooped everybody up, and out the day went. Do you believe there's a tracking mechanism for those folks? In the
Yes.
United States government? You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, because that's,
Do.
yeah, okay. I do as well. I read compelling information that suggested that that was the case, which makes me feel better, because in part of what you've said about your background, and I do know it as well, that was not afforded to those people back then. There were no rights, and you didn't, you just gone. So the fact that we have that mechanism here does give me a bit of comfort knowing that there's a system, there's a process, whether they were taken lawfully or unlawfully, as some people have suggested. Because that's also important to me, for the same reasons.
Do you think this could be on the agenda for a future meeting? Because I don't know how I'm just accustomed to presentations being made or a resolution, and then it's up to the board to decide, or the mayor, whether it's going to be on the agenda. But it's also something that the community expects to hear, whether that will happen or not.
Right.
And then everyone, you can take a stand, you take your votes, and that's it.
Understood. So yes, if that's your question, I'm sure there is a conversation that's going to be had in short order, and there's going to be some information to go out in either direction. Yeah.
Maybe by the end of February?
I'm going to probably say no. I'm going to say, because I don't want this to become a political volleyball, which it will be, because again, to Trustee Ferraro's point, there's an election coming up, and taking a position or a stance on something that's so caustic on both sides.
I don't think these bills are particularly, controversial,
No.
as you're making them out to be. I really don't.
Well, you have to take the feedback from the community, and the feedback from the
agree.
community has been very clear. There's two very distinct factions here.
Well,
And I think it's because of what they've learned about some of the environments here. You know, you and I have spoken about several of them,
Mhm.
where they were picked up and what these persons were, accused of. I mean, you lived up there your whole life. You didn't think about those problems 40 years ago,
Mhm. Well,
and we are today.
I mean, I would prefer to see that, I think the community majority would prefer to see that you do take these up. Especially, I hadn't even thought about that, the election coming up. That's a good point. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's one element. There's one school or one camp that says that they would support that, irrespective of the rights of people who have been affected by that. Meaning that people that have experienced a crime committed by somebody that's undocumented, that's a problem. And that's how people are gonna feel, and that you're never gonna change their mind about that. Anybody that's been dealt a hand that either has been personally, their home, their space, their life has been changed, whether through assault or something else, is never gonna change their mind, and I wouldn't try to change their minds. There's a camp here of that.
Well, then there are also the people who think about Renee Good and Alex Pretty, that, these are people who were murdered, and this can happen anywhere.
Sure, agreed.
Okay, so that's also, a huge issue.
It is, life is
Some-
precious.
Yes, life is precious, so
Absolutely.
let's try to protect people's lives.
And I understand it, and I agree with it, and I think the board does too. I do.
Okay.
So, to answer your question, I do think there's something that could be said about this.
Okay,
So, are you asking me for the end of February? I can't answer that. Maybe the first meeting in March. And if I have questions, I'm gonna call you to clarify
Okay.
some pieces.
I've been waiting for your call.
Well,
We agreed we'd keep in touch,
and we
but
do,
it's been almost 2 months.
yeah. Well, we have a lot going on, and I have had a lot going on, so
Okay. Enough said. Thank you for
Thank you,
listening.
Carol.
I appreciate
I
it.
appreciate you, thank you.
Good night.
Okay, yeah, I just need a motion to go into executive for,
Barry will make the motion that we go into executive session for the purpose of personnel.
yes,
Carl, second.
Call the question. Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, aye.
Carl, aye.
O'Connor, aye.
by right, so carried.